Oh, I love it.
You're good. Hey everyone, welcome back to On the Sidelines with Sav. We are live from Amedeo's restaurant in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I have one of my favorite guests ever, TJ Pittinger, with me here today. How are you doing?
Good.
Look at you.
I know. I don't know what the protocol is here, but it's kind of like it's like a fake Friday night. Because
Yes.
game day tomorrow. It's like it's Friday
Yes.
night vibes.
It is Friday night vibes, which is weird because all week long we've been calling each other like in my family and talking to my family, and it's like, oh wait, no, that's actually Thursday.
Yeah.
It's Friday because it's a different week for my dad and his work and all that kind of stuff. So fake Friday, me and TJ are gonna take on the town on a Thursday night in Raleigh tonight after this, after we grub them some food. We're super grateful to be here, super grateful for Amedio's for allowing us. If you've never been here, which I will tell TJ all about it, but it is a like historic landmark of NC State fandom. There is so much memorabilia, as you can see behind us, and all along the walls and the halls. It's a personal curated collection too, so we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But let's get into some keys for the game. We have Florida State traveling for a Friday night game up in Raleigh, North Carolina. Carter Finley on a Friday night, on any night game. Have you been here before for that?
I've never been to Carter Finley. I lived in Raleigh for a year. I was 5.
Okay, that's right. I did know that. I did know
kind of fake.
Yeah.
For a year. I don't know. But no, first time coming to a game up here.
Oh, you're in for treat.
On a Friday night too. I've done the Friday night thing. I've been in Louisville on a Friday night.
Okay.
I've been in Virginia.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Carter Finley is going to be a different level. I've done Florida State obviously on a Friday night.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be a different level.
Okay, I need to preface and ask you a question then. What is your favorite away game in the ACC that you've traveled to ever?
So the specific game or just like any stadium?
Like game day experience stadium. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, I had no idea that the ACC could pull off a game like that.
Okay.
Vibe. You know what I mean?
So, all right. So the answer would be Clemson, but I feel like that's too easy. So I'm going to take them out.
Okay. Underrated then. Let's go underrated.
Louisville was great.
Really?
Yes, Louisville was great. They had a great. Now it's not like a massive, tailgate setup that's just sprawling, but it's just so unique because the Bourbon Trail and just everything else that is like going on. Which again, that was a Friday night as well.
Okay.
That was really fun, and then just the setup is really cool. Like the bars that are right across the street. Louisville was a really cool one.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you next week if you feel like Carter Finley compared.
Okay.
That's the point. So now
doing the more traditional tailgating tomorrow.
Yes.
So it'll be different, but yeah, I'm excited for it.
I would say Carter Finley tailgating is very on par with like big Power 4 football. So I'm excited for you to see it.
Yeah, I hate going to places like, I don't know, like I'm not trying to dog anything.
Boston College.
Yes, that's exactly. Or even Miami at least has the parking lot. But yeah, but it's still like it feels like it's an NFL tailgate kind of. So yeah, no, I hate places like BC and all right. Sorry to the UVA folks, but UVA is just terrible too.
Okay, it really is. And
there's like 2 bars in town, and I'm just like, what are you supposed to do? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. As a UVA fan for 9 years of my life, Scott Stadium, when it's popping,
the stadium was awesome. They were obviously Florida State was ranked top 10. They were super into it. It was a fun game. Obviously we lost, but the atmosphere of the game and the excitement there was awesome. The tailgating was very, very lackluster.
Yeah, that is.
It was also a Friday night.
No,
it's also but I don't know if it would be too much different on a Saturday.
No, and I will say the best 2 lots for tailgating at UVA. And sorry, we're going down a rabbit hole now, but obviously I know UVA like the back of my hand. The best 2 lots for tailgating at UVA are far from the stadium, truly like a mile and a half away, and it's like I'm not making this trek,
Yeah.
So okay, we will find out next week to compare TJ's thoughts on Louisville to Carter Finley. So I guess it's really up to me to make sure he has a fun weekend here and figure that out. So everyone send comments on Twitter of where I need to take this man. Okay, let's kind of talk keys to victory for this game. What would you say? Let's do 3 each. So give me one key to victory for Florida State to win this game.
I think they need to start quickly. They have not been good on the road. I mean, we were talking about this right before we went live, but it's been 747 days. So since they won a road game, not an ACC road game, just any road game. They haven't won a road game in 2 years. So they need to start quickly. Against Virginia, they were down 14-0 like that. They were down 21-7. They did fight back. They did send double overtime. Against Clemson, they were down 18-0. At Stanford, they were losing by double digits. And so they just haven't been good on the road. Obviously, last year was a disaster. And, they didn't start fast or ever wake up any game last year. But, yeah, I worry a little bit because I do think that and they don't start especially fast at home either. They were down 28-3 to Miami. But on the road where NC State plays a lot better, if they start slow, they could look up and it's 17-3 at the end of the first quarter, and you're just like, oh man, this is not good. We're not built to come back. So starting quickly, which again they haven't done for 10 weeks, is something that they probably should try and do tomorrow night.
Okay, that makes me have a follow-up question. You, as a Florida State fan, are you happy with the improvement that the team has made this year from last year, or is this disappointing and you had higher expectations? Realistically, because everyone has we're a playoff team expectations, and that's very unrealistic for a majority of programs.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay,
it is understandable as somebody who was familiar with the roster and knew what they were building toward. I did not. I expected 6 or 7 wins.
Yeah.
So, or I predicted 6 or 7 wins. But then you kind of get into the idea of but is that what your expectations are? Is that what your standard is for Florida State? And so, from that perspective, no, it's definitely disappointing that they are fighting for a bowl here with 2 road games to go in the season. And I think any scenario is possible. They can go 2-0, they go 0-2, they can split the games. So, I mean, but then when you go and beat Bama week 1, it definitely changes your expectations.
Yes.
And so I think that, if you'd have told me before the year, they're going to dominate Bama week 1, they're going to go to Stanford and look like absolute crap and lose. You're just like, what is going on? So I think it's a little bit of both. It's not like the roster to me was not talented enough to go win 10 games.
Yeah.
But the problem is not that they're not winning 9 or 10 games. It's the problem that you didn't build a roster that was talented to do that at Florida, talented enough to do that at FSU. So it's kind of a little bit of both.
Do you feel like this is a trap game for Florida State in the sense that they're looking ahead to beat in-state rival Florida?
Not so much, no, because I do think that they understand that they're not very good. And so, I think trap games kind of apply a little bit more when you're good and when you're Florida's not good either.
True.
They've got 3 wins at this point in the year. And so I worry less about that. I do think that their effort has been pretty good. They quit last year. They haven't quit this season, which is great. Silver lining, I guess. But I worry a little bit less about a trap game because I think they understand that if they don't come out and perform well, they will lose by 20. And so I don't worry so much about them falling asleep at the wheel because they're looking ahead. Now, they may do it just because they happen to do that a lot. Yeah. But I don't think it'll be because they're worried about next week.
Got it. Okay, before we get on to my first one, I have one last question. Do you think if Mike Norvell goes 0-2, this is his last season coaching at Florida State?
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty tough to sell the fan base on retaining him. If you somehow split these games, or certainly if you win both of them, I think you can sell that as hey, we had a good finish to the last 6 games of the year, went 4-2 down that stretch. We're going to bring him back.
Yeah.
I think if he goes 0-2, it would be, I just wonder, would there be any fan support at that point? Would the fans do anything but revolt in that moment? So I think it'd be pretty tough if he loses both of these to bring him back.
Yeah. Okay. My first key to victory. Sorry, I went on a tangent there, but those all felt important. I would say it really depends on what version of CJ Bailey we get. And I hate putting it on a player because football is a team sport. But we've seen various versions of the NC State offense and defense throughout this year. And so again, hate putting it on a player, especially a true sophomore, but CJ Bailey at home has been a different person than CJ Bailey on the road. And so if we get the normal CJ Bailey at home player who doesn't throw 2 interceptions, that almost is actually 5 interceptions against Miami, then I think we have a good chance. I don't want to steal yours starting off fast, but I think that that's important for both of these teams, and whichever team starts off fast wins this game. I say this all the time, but the team that scores the first touchdown wins 70% of the time. And so if you score a touchdown on that first drive, you're really setting yourself up for success.
Yeah.
Second key to victory.
The defensive effort I don't think it's a lack of effort, but I do think that like they've at times looked really good this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so, against Clemson, the offense just could not get going. And I think they scored with like 2 or 3 minutes to go in the first half to make it 18-7. But they really did a good job of holding Clemson down. 7 of Clemson's points came on a short field off of an offensive turnover. So I thought they did a good job of holding Clemson down after Clemson had just put 45 points up on Duke the week before. And I understand that it's Duke, but still, they had a nice offensive performance. And I thought they did a good job of holding them down. So, yeah, it would be the inverse of that. Like, you need to get after CJ Bailey. I don't want to just say complete defense. I'll say, like, if I'm going to try and counteract yours, like, they need to get after him some. They need to apply pressure, which they're not very good at pressure rate this year. They're not very good at getting after the quarterback. Yeah. And so if they can do that, then they'll limit what NC State needs to do to start fast themselves.
Yeah, no, totally. Number 2. Oh, actually, before that, I saw them the funniest tweet. I wish I knew. I will have his in here on the recorded version. But he tweeted today. He was like, NC State's fast defense is one of the worst in the country, and overall their defense just isn't very good. But watch them be the 85 Bears.
Oh yeah,
against Florida State this Friday, and I was like, yes.
Yeah, I mean isn't that how it always works with your team though? Like, we've lost to like 2 true freshman quarterback. Like, just guys come out and you're just like, oh, I've never heard this guy before. Oh, there's a 350 passing yard day. Like, it is. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the other thing happened too. Yeah. Like, CJ Bailey goes off at home every week and then he comes out. It just just feels like one of those years for both teams.
Yes, absolutely. That's a perfect way to describe it. My second key to victory is definitely defensive related too. Hopefully we get the 85 Bears version of NC State defense for the first time this season. But I think what really needs to happen is just the secondary. If the secondary can get us some pass breakups, they don't even need to be interceptions, but if they can get us some pass breakups, I think we're in for a better start. Like, it's really one of those things where it's like, yeah, they haven't done great. Again, it's a team sport. I don't want to blame any one person. Last week, the offense scored 7 points and had 100 yards, so it could also be them. But if we have the defensive secondary kind of show up tomorrow night, which they can, especially with the home crowd at Carter Finley, I think that sets us up for success as well. And finally, what's your last one?
You just mentioned at the very end of that, it's somehow being able to get out of their own heads when it comes to playing on the road. I don't know. I understand that it's easier to play at home. I understand that it's more routine. Yeah. I get all of that. But like, teams go on the road and win all the time. Yeah. Right? Like, just, nobody else in FBS is like in the Power 4 has lost every single road game that they played for the last 2 years. Like, you have to find a way.
Yeah.
And that's a challenging ask when you couldn't do it. I mean, I understand not doing it at Clemson. I understand that UVA gets kind of lit. Yeah. But like, you couldn't do it at Stanford. Like, what are my thoughts on you doing it at a place that has been a house of horrors for Florida State for the last 20 years? Even when the Florida State's been good, they found ways to lose this game. And so I mean, whatever Zen or meditation they need to do before the game, they got to figure that out, because like they've got to figure out and block out the noise, because that place will be lit tomorrow night. It will be a really tough environment. And so just getting out of your own head, trying to block out that noise, whatever you have to do to do it. A lot of teams, you'll see them like rise to the occasion. They like playing on the road.
Yeah.
Florida State is the antithesis of that. Like, it is like, oh, let's go into our shell and freak out. So I don't know what the solution to it is, but to me, if they can somehow limit that effect, they'll be in a lot better shape than I expect.
Yeah, that kind of leads me into my last point, which is the fans at Carter Finley. They show up, they make a difference. And not that I want to put it on fans as like a key to victory, but they are a key to victory more than they know. Like, at UVA, Bronco Mendenhall had this thing where he believed in the fourth side. Like, there's 3 sides of the ball: special teams, offense, defense, but the fourth side is the fans. And as long as the fans show up like they typically do at Carter Finley and are loud on third downs like they always are, I think that sets us up for success as well. Any closing thoughts about the game tomorrow?
Nothing about this year has made sense.
Yeah.
Florida State, like beating Bama didn't make sense. Going on the road and losing to UVA didn't make sense. Dropping to Pitt didn't make sense with a second half lead. I don't think that blowing out 7-3 Wake Forest makes a lot of sense, and so nothing has made sense. And so it doesn't make sense to me that Florida State's a favorite in this game. Like, I know this isn't a betting chip, but like,
we can talk about it. We can talk about it.
That doesn't make sense to me that they are.
What's the line?
I think it was like 3.5 last time I looked.
Okay.
So it's close. It's fairly close.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me that Florida State's a favorite. And so, you can never win on the road. You can never win in Carter Finley. Your team is absolutely terrible. You're playing a quarterback who has the potential to be really good. So he probably will be against you, because any quarterback that has the chance to be good, he'll probably. So all that said, Florida State will probably go out and win this game. Like, I'm not predicting them to, but like, nothing has made sense. And so of course, like, you're maybe one loss away from getting to reset, have a new coach. So they'll probably go out and win. Like, that's just that's how my life works at this point.
That's hilarious. No, that's so funny. I totally see what you mean, because same thing. Nothing about this season has made sense for NC State. Usually, obviously, like, we're a defensive school. Dave Dorn is a defensive guy, and the offense has shown up some weeks and not so much other weeks. And so, it'll be a good fun game. Like, it'll be a fun college. Personally, not fun, because the only games I think are fun are like massive blowouts when we win like 57-7. But it'll be a fun, good game to watch, in my opinion. And I will say this about the ACC: I think they do a really good job of making sure that we have publicity throughout the whole like long weekend of college football. They make sure we have the Thursday night, the Friday night, those first couple weeks we have Sunday and Monday night games. And so I appreciate that there's like all eyes on this game, because it's the Friday night game. So I love that. And like I said, we're live from Amedeo's, which is, like I said, an NC State must visit if you are in town. It is an Italian restaurant. Everything is homemade. We're super grateful to be here, talk ball, eat some food, go out for the night. And that is everything. Put any comments, questions that you have in the chat. We'll put this video up on YouTube. Bye, guys.